My fiance Sarah, 27F, and I, 30M, have been together for 3 years. She's actually my first serious girlfriend since middle school. I will honestly admit I've been a complete piece of crap with women for most of my teens and 20s and pretty much used women. I'm saying all this to explain how promiscuous I was in the past. Sarah knows about my past, and she's grown to accept it. We met at work, and she hated me because she saw right through me. After pursuing her for close to a year, she finally agreed to a date, and the rest is history. We've been living together for 2 years now, and I've grown incredibly close to her parents too, and she also loves my family. The past 3 years have been the best of my life, and I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with her. This weekend, her cousin Lauren, 34F, and her family are in town. She's really close with Lauren, and it's a miracle I haven't met her yet, as I was always busy for one reason or another the few times she's visited in the last 3 years. So, I finally met Lauren and her husband for dinner at Sarah's parents' place. She immediately stares at me, wide-eyed, and I can't help but think she looks familiar. We're all being introduced to each other, and Lauren, for the most part, seems to be acting normally, but she's still staring at me whenever she can. Sarah's parents then come in with Lauren's little boy, who's 5 years old. I'm looking at this kid and Lauren, and the only thing I can think of is that this boy looks like a carbon copy of me at his age, with some Lauren mixed in. I suddenly start to remember that I took Lauren home from a bar close to 6 years ago. I also remember convincing her not to use protection after I showed her my blood work. I'm just a sweaty, nervous mess for the rest of dinner, and I think Lauren realizes, from how she looked at me and the boy, that I might have realized it too. And an even more messed up part, I think Lauren was visiting Sarah the weekend I took her home. They probably had a girls' night out that weekend with their friends, and I took Lauren home. So, Sarah was probably at the same bar that night. Sarah asked me if I was okay, and I just told her I wasn't feeling well. I didn't go to work yesterday and today and just took sick days. I don't know what to do. Lauren obviously isn't saying anything. I have no clue if she was married at the time, and I don't want to ask Sarah because I don't want her getting suspicious. I don't even know how I feel about possibly being a father. I'm 95% sure this kid is mine. He looks nothing like the husband. Do I just shut up? I never cheated on Sarah, obviously, but she knows how much of a player I was, and it took her a while to get past my number. I don't know how she'd react if she knew I knocked up her cousin years before knowing her. This is vain and superficial about Sarah, and I love her so much, but she absolutely hates anything considered trashy or low class. I honestly think it's possible she'd leave me if I knocked up her cousin. I can't lose her, she's literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. Commenter. I'm guessing a lot of the commenters on this are men. I'm a 52-year-old woman. The number one most important thing in a relationship for me, and for all the women I know, is trust. Honesty, trust, and having each other's backs. This is why women sometimes can't forgive cheating. It's not the smashing, it's the breach of trust. If you were my boyfriend or husband, I would want you to put me first before Lauren, meaning, literally, come to me first. Like, I have to tell you something that's really stressing me out. You know how I told you I had a lot of irresponsible, drunken flings a few years ago? When I met Lauren the other night, she looked really familiar. I am so ashamed to tell you this, but I am pretty sure I hooked up with her in the past. I'm not sure if she recognized me, but I think she might have. I felt like she was looking at me strangely. I was so stressed out about it, I lied to you and said I felt sick. Well, that wasn't really a lie because I wanted to puke, and I'm still completely sick about this. I can't bear to lose you, but I can't lie to you and not tell you about this. Please help me figure out what I should do. Then let her go through all the stages of figuring this out with you. Let her say, OMG, is that your kid, while you put your face in your hands in disbelief. If you do what all these guys are suggesting and try to do damage control by talking to Lauren behind your girlfriend's back, you are completely screwed. It's not the crime, it's the cover-up. If you talk to Lauren, figure out you are the biological father, and then drop the whole story on your girlfriend, there is no way in hell she will ever believe that you just figured this out now. She will feel doubtful about what you knew, when you knew it, how you feel about Lauren, when you last slept with Lauren, etc. If you want a life with Sarah, go to Sarah and ask for her help. If she dumps you, she is only dumping you for something you already told her about, that being your past behavior, and if she got over it once, she might even get over it again. Right now, you are in the most forgivable, least guilty position possible. You have never lied to Sarah about your past, and you aren't going to start now. You did not turn your back on your child or the mother of your child. You did not know. If this kid was your baby, you weren't informed at the time. If Sarah and Lauren are close, and Lauren did have a pregnancy and concealed it from the biological father, Sarah may know all about it and may be aware the biological father wasn't notified. Rip the band-aid off and deal with it now. Update 1. After 3 days of staying at home and feeling sick to my stomach with nervousness about this, I finally told Sarah late last night after my last post. Thank you so much for the comments, because that really gave me the push to spill my guts. As embarrassing as it is, I cried from beginning to end telling Sarah and pretty much told her I don't want to live without her. She held my hands in bed and patiently listened as I explained how I recognized Lauren, remembered our night, and how seeing that kid mentally broke me because I saw my future with Sarah jeopardized as soon as I saw him. She told me she's upset I didn't tell her as soon as we left her parents' place and to never keep something like this from her again, but she understood I was scared. She said she's not leaving me because I never betrayed her in the last 3 years we've been together, and we'll figure this out too. She also said she'll reach out to Lauren herself and figure out what's going on because she's been with her husband for 10 years now, and if she's my one-night stand from years ago, she definitely cheated. We then had an even more uncomfortable conversation about the type of things I've done in my past. She wanted to know if there are any more surprises she needs to be ready for. She said she knows I was promiscuous and a bit of a reckless idiot, but we kind of swept everything under the rug when we got together because we both agreed we wanted a fresh start. After this fiasco, that might have been a bad idea, so she wants to know everything in detail now. We agreed to have that talk another time. I don't feel great about this, but I'll deal with this hurdle when it comes up. Sarah has been home with me trying to get in touch with Lauren since morning and has been getting completely stonewalled. Finally, Lauren texted her to please just let it go. Sarah asked her again if they could just have a quick chat or even text, but Lauren insisted, let it go, please. I'm guessing Lauren realized I told Sarah everything. We don't know how to proceed from here on out. We're deciding to just respect her wishes and not pursue this further. Lauren also just changed her response to our wedding invite to a no-show. Sarah is kind of upset by this, but honestly, I'm fine with this outcome. We always plan to leave the US in a few years anyway. I got a lot of messages asking me to just shut up, and I was honestly ready to go that route, but I think the worry was actually physically making me sick. Anyway, thanks everyone for the advice. Much appreciated. Commenter. You will drop a nuclear bomb, and a literally life-defining moment, on this kid if you ever bring this up to the husband. Don't listen to any of these posts telling you to do this. It's beyond selfish and moronic. In fact, it will cause a complete family implosion, an extended family implosion too. Sarah's parents will never look at you the same. The last thing you need is to expose all of this over a hunch you think this child is yours. Reddit seems really interested in you blowing up multiple families and a kid's life over a hunch. I'm going to break it down for you. You don't know that you're the father. You are just thinking you might be. In reality, you don't know that yet. This is 100% on Lauren. You did your part, Sarah now knows. There are no secrets between you, and she can use this information how she sees fit. Lauren's relationship with her child is her business. Maybe she feels she needs to find out, maybe she doesn't. It's not your role to interject. You are not this kid's dad. You don't even know him. Reddit is giving you horrendous advice. Don't take it. Can you imagine if you brought this up to her husband? He leaves because he thinks you're telling the truth. The kid is shattered because dad isn't in his life anymore, not to mention Sarah's family hates you for this, only for it to come out later that you are not the father? You did the right thing by telling Sarah. Lauren wants to bury the hatchet, and if Sarah wants to do this as well, then let it be. Do not confront anyone over this. You don't have all the facts, even though you think you do. All you know right now is that Lauren cheated on her husband with you roughly 6 years ago. What you don't know is if that child is yours. Don't assume that you do. Update 2. I've had literally dozens of people messaging me asking for an update. Sarah and Lauren have been texting since my last update. Mostly, Lauren has been apologizing because she won't be coming to our wedding. She also sent us some wedding and Christmas gifts, which was very sweet of her. Sarah didn't really push her for answers but left an open invitation to talk whenever Lauren felt comfortable. A few days before Christmas, Lauren FaceTimed Sarah and told her everything. She explained that she and her husband were going through a rough patch in their marriage at the time. He had an emotional affair with a coworker, and they were separated for a few weeks before reconciling. Lauren met me early on during the separation when we had our one-night stand. She told Sarah I'm the only one she ever hooked up with during this separation. Soon after she realized she was pregnant, she reconciled with her husband. They had been trying with no luck, so they just decided to raise the child as their own. Lauren said she's told her husband, and it's caused some turmoil in their marriage. They're working through it now. He knew about this nameless, faceless man, but seeing me in the flesh and knowing after the fact that I'm the one has been a bit traumatic for him, and he's feeling very insecure. Unfortunately, he never wants us to interact or be in the same room again. I was listening just out of view from the camera, but I couldn't help but ask Lauren if this means I can never see the boy. She just said she was sorry. She told Sarah she'd talk to her later, and that was it. They've still been texting, and it seems Lauren and her husband will be okay with some time. Now we have to always coordinate so that we're not attending family events at the same time. Sarah and Lauren have already made plans to meet by themselves, though. As far as Sarah and I, we're doing okay. We had one pretty bad fight a few days after the last post went up. She wanted to know in excruciating detail everything about the type of guy I was before. Honestly, it felt like a CIA interrogation at one point. She cried and told me she wished she had fallen in love with someone else, which hurt a lot. She apologized the next morning, and we've been doing a lot better since then. I think we're stronger now, in fact, now that she knows everything. I'm also never ever doing those ancestry testing services all these companies offer. I've also gotten a much better paying job that's fully remote. Sarah will talk with her boss to see if she can convert to full remote as well, which we think is possible. We might be leaving sooner than we thought. That's it. Thanks to everyone who provided advice, especially after the first post.